So today we're going to be talking about osmosis, which is the movement of water through a semi-permeable membrane. So if you haven't put it together yet, I was the water and this is the semi-permeable membrane. All right, so let's talk water molecules. So water molecules are small enough to pass through a semi-permeable membrane. And so a semi-permeable membrane is, just as it would suggest, is that some things are it's permeable to some things, but not to others. So semi-permeable membrane. So to pass, if the membrane needs to pass large amounts of water through quickly, the cells use protein channels that are called aquaporins. This is a passive transport, which means that it does not require energy. It doesn't require ATP. All right, so let's talk about the concentration gradient. Actually, hang on just a... Okay, yeah, let me get rid of my semi-permeable membrane. All right, so let's talk concentration gradient. So the concentration gradient means there's basically different concentrations of stuff. In osmosis, the water is going to move from an area of higher concentration to an area of lower water concentration. So in a solution, a low water concentration usually means that there's a high solute concentration. So when you have a mixture, when you have a solution, you're going to have the water, or the water, and then you're going to have the solute. So the solute can be like, for instance, if I added salt into water, the water is going to be the solution, and then the solute is going to be the salt that's dissolved inside that solution. So like I said, solutes are substances that can dissolve in a solvent. So in this case, the solvent would be water, and the solute would be the salt water. Boom, salt. All right, so basically what's going to happen then is some things are going to be able to fit through it, some things aren't. Let's talk movement of water. So water is always going to head in the direction of the high solute concentration. So to use the earlier example of salt water, it's going to head more toward where there is a higher concentration of salt versus a higher concentration of water. So especially with salt. So what happens is, this is kind of like the polar molecule love connection. So basically what happens is that the positive side of the water molecule, because remember H2O, there's two hydrogens, are going to be attracted to the side of the chlorine ion. So remember, salt, NaCl, is sodium chloride. Sorry about that, I'm back. So yeah, like I said, sodium chlorine. So you're going to have the positive side of the water, because remember H2O, you're going to have two hydrogens, are going to be attracted to the negative side of the chlorine ion. The negative side of the water molecule, meaning the oxygen, is going to be attracted to the positive side of the sodium ion. So essentially what's going to happen is there's going to be a tug of war, that the water is going to be tugging on the sodium, and then the hydrogen is going to be tugging on the chlorine, and that pulls the salt molecule, it pulls it apart. And that's why salt dissolves in water.